Greetings, this is going to be a new entry into our video series of Retro Futurism book reviews, where I take a book that was trying to predict the future from a past date and I evaluate how well that book did and whether it had the right assumptions or not. And today's book is Telecosm by George Gilder. This was written in 2000 and I purchased it in 2001 from Borders Bookstore in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I have the hardcover version. And there's many positives about this book and a few negatives as well. The most obvious positive is that George Gilder is an excellent author. His command of the English language is truly exceptional. His use of metaphors and of going on a detailed rant to describe something is just truly exceptional. On page 247, he describes how television is an obsolete time waster. So let me read that passage to you. The supreme time waster, though, is television. Many people still have trouble understanding how egregious a time consumer, how obsolete a business model, how atavistic a technology, and how debauched a cultural force it is. You sit down on a couch in front of a screen to watch degrading and titillating lowest common denominator trivia, scheduled for you in some netherworld between Madison Avenue, the FCC, and Hollywood, offering a sordid stream of sleazy banalities, gun grunge, bedroom mayhem, and awful innuendos. Some preening as news and some leering as entertainment, for as much as 7 hours a day on average, consuming perhaps 2/3 of your disposable time year after year, all in order to grab your eyeballs for a few minutes of artfully crafted advertising images that you don't want to see of products you'll never buy. Is it a bird? Is it a thigh? No, it is a fender, a frosted beamer, no, a beer bottle. TV ads that are as irrelevant to you 90% of the time as the worst telemarketing spiel. Justifying the scheme is the free public service that television supposedly offers, namely the serious portions of the news, chiefly government propaganda, and Saturday morning children's programming, more propaganda. And you take it all in stride because wasting your time has been, until recently, the essence of business. That's very true, and it presaged the emergence of things like Netflix, where you have on-demand video, you don't have to watch ads, you choose what you watch rather than being restricted to what is broadcast on television at a given time. So there's passages like this throughout this publication. However, as a negative, which I point out in many such retro futurism book reviews, is that this book has no charts and graphs, no pictures whatsoever. Any book about futurism should have those visual aids in order to convey the message of the predictions and complicated concepts. So I believe that is essential. I don't know why a book like this would not have any graphs and charts in it or any other pictures to assist. Now, in terms of his predictions about the internet, he was right about things like Netflix for television and as well things like telework and so forth, because remember, for many years, people forgot about video conferencing telework. During the dot-com era, that was predicted for around 2020 or so. They said in 20 years, people will be able to work from home and do video streaming. And it was forgotten for many years. A few companies like WebEx existed, which was acquired by Cisco, and then Cisco had their own telepresence product. They acquired a company called Tandberg as well. But this did not seem to be going anywhere until the COVID-19 pandemic, which shook loose this pent-up demand. And now everyone has access to Zoom and Microsoft Teams and other video conferencing tools that enable distributed teams to collaborate successfully with each other, as predicted in the dot-com era. It's just that people forgot about it for a while. But George Gilder talks about that quite a bit over here. Now, another negative of this book is that believing he was an expert in the technology of telecommunications and the internet, which he is, based on his descriptions over here, he assumed that would make him an excellent stock picker and that stock picking should even be an activity the average person take part in. And therefore he recommends 9 companies that he considered to be stars of the Telecosm and that someone should invest in. And these companies did not do that well. A few of them did moderately well, but you have others like Global Crossing and JDS Uniphase that just did not do very well. And an investor who had invested in these 9 stocks that he recommends would have done poorly over the next 20 years, because so much can change in business and acquisitions and all kinds of other things that cause a stock picking endeavor to be doomed to failure. So he assumed that his knowledge about the physics and technology and engineering side of telecommunications and fiber optics and other data transmission technologies of the internet would enable him to be an excellent stock picker. And that is the part where he really did not do very well, because the cluster of stocks that he recommends, if you had bought them in 2000, would have not made you wealthy at all. And if he had an ETF based on these 9 stocks, it would have underperformed the NASDAQ 100 for sure. So you're interested in internet technologies and some of the historical progressions of telecommunications that built the modern internet that we have, then I recommend this book, Telecosm by George Gilder, which you can probably find online for a very low price, or even as a PDF ebook version for an even lower price. Now, if you like this type of content, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for watching.